right. So, welcome. Hope you had a good weekend. Hope you stayed dry. It was very, very wet all weekend, at least at my house. Had a lot of rain. We have a very short week in class this week for programming two. Let me pull it up here. Am I on the screen that I need to be on? Yeah, I think so. If you haven't turned in a program from last week and need help with that, this is a B Day Friday, so we only have class on Wednesday this week. And I don't know if you can read that, especially with this camera. That says B Day and Mr. Brock will not be here. I will not be here on Friday this week. I'm going back to my high school for my class reunion. It's our 40th class reunion. So I'm going to go back to Oklahoma to the high school I graduated from. I'll be there on Friday for the pep assembly in the morning, have the homecoming parade. I get a ride on a float. Our class has a float. I think it's just a trailer, probably nothing fancy. But we're going to have all of us, class of '85 folks, riding on a float, throwing candy, and then going to the football game that night. And then we got a big dinner on Saturday. So I'm looking forward to it. A lot of fun seeing some folks that I haven't seen in decades because they graduated 40 years ago. So that's what's coming up for me this weekend. So I will not be here Friday. So if you email me something on Friday, I probably won't get to it until Monday because I don't plan on taking my computer with me when I go back to my reunion. It's going to stay here. So I won't be checking emails on Friday. So I'm just letting everybody know in advance. Mr. Brock will only be here through Thursday and Friday now. We don't have class. It's a B day anyway, but you might be looking to email me something. So, okay. Now we got that out of the way. Let me pull up the Buzz window and let's look what's going on this week. Like I say, if you haven't got the program in, get the program before you get to this. But if we look at procedural programming, go into our grade screen. All right, you should have everything in for the first module. We're down to just the exam. So we're going to take a look at that this morning before we leave. And then you can go do that on. You don't have to do it during class. It's due Sunday, just like our usual assignment. So, if you want to go back and practice some programming or you still got something you need to do in this unit, you can do that first and wait and turn in the program later in the week. But we're going to look at it here at least so you kind of know what we got going. If you click on the little Module 1 exam, like the instructions, there's really not much there. It just says review your notes, review your code, practice, review your assignments, and then complete the exam. So let's just go to the exam. I've automatically set it for 2 attempts because this isn't easy. It's not writing programs. It's answering questions about everything we've learned in this unit. And some of it's a little tough if we don't pay attention. So I gave you an automatic retake already. So let's look at some of these questions. See, like which aspect of computational thinking involves completing a postmortem review? Is that the algorithmic design, the decomposition, the generalize and assess, and the pattern recognition? So you got to remember all this terminology that we use. And if you need to, like if you start down here and you get down here to question 6 and like, I don't remember procedural programming, you can click down in the corner, save and exit, and it will save everything you've done. And you can go back and look at the lesson on procedural programming and say, that's right. And then you can come back and continue the test. It doesn't count as an attempt if you save and exit. Now, if you hit next and submit, that would count as your attempt. So if you just save and exit, you can leave the test and come back to it. So that's important to know. You can leave it and come back. Which of the following is a built-in function in Python? Complete, iteration, love, and print. Okay, that one's kind of easy. Which of the following best? Now, remember, your questions may be different because there's a bank of questions that it uses. So you may have different questions, but they'll be along the same topics, right? Which of the following best describes why an idle is useful in programming in Python? Ooh, idles are laid out well. Idle will help identify mistakes at the early stages. It's possible to program in different languages with the same idle. It's possible to use more libraries with idle than with other editors. So that's tricky. Let's go back and look at lesson 1.01 that talked about using this idle window. Which of the following represents a collection of functions? Is it a collection, a graph, a library, or a repository? Which of the following object-oriented programming languages would you most likely use when collaborating on a project that employs different programming languages? Oh, that would take some review on the OOP programming because right off the top of my head, I don't remember which one it talked about with that. Which of the following is true about procedural programming? Large problems are divided into objects that have member function. Large objects divided into smaller problems that are solved by functions. So 4 choices. What's one of the most common characteristics of an efficient program? All right. Why do programmers use pseudocode? Which of the following is the best way to start implementing algorithms? Oh, and we have an open response. Number 10, write some pseudocode for a program to get ready for bed. Oh, a little pseudocode right there. See, what's the following is an optimal data structure or an algorithm to update and change information? Which data structure is best suited to store? Let's see. So how many questions we got here? Which the following is a symbol for adding comments. There you go. 20 questions. One of them is you have to write pseudocode. The other 19 are multiple choice. So, and they cover everything. So again, you can save and exit if you get started and you answer in something that's like, okay, I know the comment one. You can save and exit and come back, and it'll just say continue. But it has not used one of my 2 attempts at this. So there you go. It kind of gives you a look ahead to see what do I need to review. You can jump in there. Like I said, you can always save and exit if you're in there and like, I don't remember that. I need to review that. I thought I was ready to take the test. Maybe not. So yeah, save and exit. But you do have an automatic retake built in. So if you submit it the first time, it's like, ooh, you can retake that automatically without telling me. I forgot about that. Anytime there's something that has to be manually graded, like an open response like that, it will not show your grade until I get that done. So yeah, I forgot about that. But that's a good thing to point out because I'm all the multiple choice. We just think you should have a grade. Well, it did. It was waiting on that one question. So, all right. You don't have to stay in class. You get your assignment for the week. It's a test. It's due Sunday. Don't wait till Sunday. Vivian, you've already jumped on top of it. Good job. But if you got any questions, you can always email me. I will be in class on Wednesday if anything comes up. But otherwise, I'm going to restart my computer so I can get my regular camera working again and get back to things. I got a lot of grading to do. So if you've turned in programs, I'm working on grading this week I'll have it all graded before I leave for my reunion. So, all right. Any other questions? All right. Have a great week, ladies. We'll catch you later.